What's up, everyone? Welcome to a live Mace Mobility. I haven't done this in a while, but it's a beautiful morning. I was going to go do this myself, and I felt like sharing a little bit. So, we're just going to get our body nice and loose using our mace. And I would recommend using a standard 10-pound mace with a 40-inch handle to really get the most leverage that you can. So, let's get started. I'm going to take my feet hip width straight forward, dropping a micro bend in my knees. So if you need to lock out, go ahead. Little soft bend, so we're not slouching down. We're just keeping that bend in the knees so we can tuck our pelvis and create a base for our spine to start moving up towards the sky. So I'm kind of like moving back and forth, just finding as much length as possible. My ribs are flat, my crown is tall, and you can see both hands are stacked right on top of the mace. And I'm going to take my shoulders up to my ears. I'm going to pull my shoulders as far back as I can, and then pack them down into these nice little pockets. And then I'm going to inhale, lift my toes. Exhale, drive my toes into the floor. I'm actually in sand, so pretend like you're in sand and sink down into the earth, and then rip out through the edges of your feet, feeling your hip line and your quads engage. Go ahead, take another inhale, lift your toes, lift your spine up, keep your ribs flat. Exhale, drive your feet down and out through the earth. Just going to keep this position, and I'm going to start to work into my hip line just by inhale, pulling my pelvis back. Nothing changed. I still have the bend in my knees. Exhale, forward. Inhale back. I'm gripping the earth, ripping out through the sand. Exhale, pelvis pushes in front. 3 more times. Inhale back. Exhale, push. Inhale back. Exhale, push. One more. We've moved forward and back. Let's hit the center line with our pelvic floor and tilt our hips out to the side. You'll notice both knees still have that soft bend, and tilt. And tilt. And I'm just using my mace here for balance right now. One more time each way. Still breathing. I'm going to reset in the center line. I'm going to drive that pelvis in front as far as I can and just simply drive my weight forward and towards my pinky toe, putting some flexion in the ankle and the knee and switching sides towards the pinky. Find your breath. Inhale through. Exhale, push. And you can see I'm kind of rolling onto the razor edge of my foot to even coax my body into a little bit more range of motion. So all the weight is distributed in this bending leg, and you can see the bend here, and I'm on the edge of the opposite foot. And that's totally an option. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. One more time each way. I'm going to reset. I'm going to pull the pelvis back, and I'm going to shift my hips towards the back side of my heel. Just pushing, comfortable range of motion. Bend in both knees still. Your outside knee will try and lock on you and towards the other heel. Let a big exhale out and the other way. And you can see I'm kind of just using my mace here upright to hold my spine. I'm not rounding. My spine is still long. There's this nice line here. One more time each way. And I kind of dove in there. Take a second, and now we're really going to dive into this. And you can see the mace is fairly close to my body. I'm going to go ahead and take one step back. So I'm just about arm's length distance from my mace now. I'm going to reset my feet into the earth. Micro bend in my knees, pelvis is tucked. I'm going to rock that pelvis back, and I'm going to shift the tail in front. Notice how I've rolled both elbows in to create a tight window with my arms. This should keep your lats engaged. Pushing that pelvis back, the butt back, the bend is generous in the knees. The mace will tell you when to stop and hold your spine in a perfect line. My eyes are still looking at the tail of my mace. Breathe. You should get this really nice stretch in your lats, your spine, and your hamstrings. Now I'm going to start to push my head through that window I've created and drop my chin to my chest and breathe. You can move your hips back and forth here. You can sway the tail. This should feel really good, guys. Keep the bend in your knees. I'm going to spinal wave up from here by bringing the tail in towards my head. Notice my elbows have tucked. I'm going to push my weight into my knees. I'm going to push up, pushing into the tail. The weight drives into the pelvic floor. My shoulders roll up, back, and down, and then my head lifts. Notice how I drove the chin to the earth, or to the sky. Sorry. I'm going to drop my chin to my chest, pull my pelvis back, push the tail, creating that window with the arms, look towards the tail. And we're going to switch it up this time. So we hit all those corners earlier. So just drive your hips towards one heel. The tail goes the opposite way. And I'm going to circle around. So here's our pelvic push to the side, sweeping towards the pinky, pelvis in front towards the pinky, out to that tilt to 45, and in that center line, creating that beautiful straight line and stretch. Going again, heel, side tilt, pinky, pelvic push in the front. You could push into your mace, your pelvis is driven forward. You can go into a back bend here if it's in your practice, and then start to sweep that circle out. That's an option. But since our pelvis is already pushed in the front and we have leverage here with our mace, we can bend the back, open the heart, and circle. I'm going to switch directions. So I've hit the heel. I'm going to go towards the other heel, hit my side tilt, hit the pinky, hit that front end, maybe back bend if you can, and finish your circle. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 more of these guys. Just big, beautiful hip circles. Breathing with this motion. Keep that bend in your knees. Let's pause in that center line one more time. Doing another spinal wave. The elbows are tucked for our window for our head to fall through. Chin to chest. Pull that tail in for leverage. I'm going to throw one more addition here. Drive into your knees. Push into the tail of your mace. Hips push forward. Push down. Push on to your toes. Lift your heels. My chin still to my chest. Shoulders come down. Head lifts towards the sky. We got the cue that time. Drop your heels. Beautiful. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. This is just a very quick way to utilize your mace to open up your entire body, connect to your breath, and just feel good. Thank you very much for hanging out with me.